This is a quick video for how to use the online sandbox gaming platform called Tabletopia to play a game of Guildmaster online with your friends. First thing to do is go to tabletopia.com and then search for the game Guildmaster. 2 words. There we are. Left click on that and it takes us to a game listing for Guildmaster. You can see a little bit of information here, as well as some download links for rulebooks and quick start guides. You might want to also watch the how to play the game video from the great guys at Man vs. Meeple, but really what you want to do here is play online. So we'll just click on that button and that will take us to a lobby that we can start a game from. Inside Tabletopia, we've got 2 different options for how to play Guildmaster. Today we're going to show you the 4-player quick start guide version and the controls in that about how to play. We're not going to cover the whole quick start, just the controls for how to use the system. Once I've selected that, you can see I've got 4 different seats available because it is a set 4-player quick start session. To set this game up, you will need to be logged in, and other players you can invite in don't need to be logged in. They don't even need to have a Tabletopia account. So once you're ready, you can then go down to here to invite players and get a URL from here, copy the URL from here, left click, or just get the URL from the game up here. Then you can share that with your friends on Discord or however you like to talk with your friends while you want to play a game. Once that's done, we're ready to start. So press that and it will download the game files through the browser, ready for you to play. We recommend using the Chrome browser. An up-to-date Chrome browser that's proven to be the most stable, but as you can see here, all these other browsers are supported. Should just take a minute or 2 for the files to download. For some players in their first time to Tabletopia, that might take a little longer. Okay, here's the preset table in a 4-player quick start guide version of the game where everybody's first orders are mapped out. So don't pick these cards up, they're ready to go. Each player can see their own cards. They're invisible to me here, but this is the seat that I've taken. Other players will jump in at a blue seat or a brown seat or a green seat and be able to manipulate their own board. So let's go through some of the controls that you're going to need to use Tabletopia. Well, first of all, you want to just zoom in using the wheel mouse. Zoom in, zoom out as much as you like. You can zoom in very, very close so you can see great detail in the game. And you can zoom out. You can use the W, A, S and D keys to move around, and you can do those as you're wheeling in and wheeling out, so get a little bit more control of that. You can also drag the board left or right if you want to move around quickly for your view, and if you want to, you can right click and move the mouse to change your angle on the game. Really just that's a matter of personal choice. Yes, it's also useful to set some camera angles so that you can quickly zoom back to a particular view of the game state. So for example, I almost always set this one using the shift key and number. So I like to do my own player board as shift 1, and that saves that camera angle. And then I might go up to the adventurers areas, zoom in so that I can read the adventurers and say shift 2, and then I'll go across to the contracts area and set that as a shift 3, and now I have 3 different areas. So if I press the 1 key, I go back to my board, press the 2 key, go to the adventurers area, 3 key, back to contracts again. That's probably all you need, or you might find it useful to set this as maybe shift 4. You can set other camera angles up to other players' boards so that you can quickly go and look at their things, and you'll get used to just handling those probably 3, 4, 5 keys to quickly zoom around the board. So you can also view particular objects at zoomed in levels so that you don't have to wheel mouse all the way in. So even from out at this distance, I can have a look at Scarlet here and say, okay, Scarlet, what do? I can hold the mouse over Scarlet and press the space bar and get a full view of that. Alternatively, I can double click Scarlet, same thing. Another way to view it is just to hover the mouse over her and then press the Z key and it will zoom right into the board at that point. So you've got a few ways there of seeing things a little bit larger than life. Now we can also move objects around in the game. You'll see there's various tokens. I can pick things off stacks. I can pick cards up and move them around just with the left mouse button being held down and moving that around to grab it and then releasing the left mouse button to drop it. So I can move this over here, drop it, that kind of thing. I can move a card from the board into my hand if I've won that card. So I just simply left click, hold it down and drag it to an area at the base of the screen, which will then light up red. That's my hand zone. And now I can release the left key and that's in my hand. I can then drag it out of there and back onto the board or my order board or somewhere if I need to. You can also draw cards off the top of the deck. Same thing. Hold the left mouse button down, then drag the card across, and I can drop it back on top. Wait for the deck to highlight a color, and it will go straight back on top of the deck. Do be careful. If you want to move a whole deck, you simply left click on the deck first to highlight the entire object as a deck, and then left click, hold down, move the whole deck. You shouldn't actually need to do that in the game, but if you accidentally do it, that's how you'd undo it. Okay, you can also flip over cards on the board. So I can click on a card and press F, or I can click on a whole bunch of objects like this, press F, and that's often what happens at the beginning of the game. Various cards are all face down, so you can press the Shift key, drag a square or rectangle over the bunch of objects, and then they're all highlighted once you release, and then flip, or I could even move that whole bunch of objects as a collective group. When you're dropping something onto the table, pro tip, wherever the shadow is where they're going to land. So you can see here with these contract cards, the shadow sits over the box there. That'll let them sit there nicely. Okay. Now there is another area of the game that you will need to flip on a regular basis. This represents the phase of the game where you would secretly plan your orders behind a large player screen that comes with the regular game. They don't tend to work very well in Tabletopia, so instead we've got a player board that's flippable. Now you can see here there's an eye symbol up here. When it's got an eye crossed out like that, it means it's hidden and cannot be seen by other players. So this is a secret zone that I'm planning my orders in and no other players can see right now. In fact, there are cards in these areas that I can't see because they also have the eye flip there. When it comes time to reveal this, you simply hover your mouse over the board, press the F key, and now you'll notice the eye has changed. That means everybody can see what's in there. Now if I want to flip it back again, hover over the board, press F, and we're done. So you can do that lots of times throughout the game, and you'll do that at a particular point every turn in the game. Okay, nearly towards the end of it now. So there's a few other little tricks you can do. This is my deck of 13 including these ones, order cards. So I can simply pick this deck up using the left mouse button, draw it into my hand. I can reorder the deck here so that everything's in a nice logical order for me and ready to go. Now, in the game, I may want to indicate or invite another player to cooperate with me and go do a particular contract. So I might take, for example, I want them to go and do contract 1 here. I might take the contract 1 order card, flip it over in my hand, drag it across to another player, perhaps in front of their board, say here, and drop it in front of them, invite them to pick it up and have a look and say, hey, do you want to go and do that contract together in the first or second order space? They pop it into the and in the same way I do, and when they're done, they drop it back on the table. I can pick it up and drop it back in my hand as well. Okay, we will also need to roll a lot of dice in the game. So each player has a set of 10 dice available to them, and you can only generally roll up to 10 dice in the game at one time. So if I was to need to roll 4 dice, for example in a skill check with Guala and Tani here doing a charm skill check, I'd simply hold the shift key down, drag it over all 4 of the dice that I need, and press the R key to make a roll. If I need to re-roll one of these dice through one of my re-roll powers or something, I could simply left click on that dice, press the R key again, and just roll that one single dice. If I need to use a power that allows me to fix the dice to a particular number, I can simply press the F key to move it up by 1 each time I press the F key. Or I can right click on the object and then use the left key to select the dice face and the number that I need to set it to. That's that. One last thing you'll probably use a lot in the game is the contest token. So that's a token you use to tell people at the same order that you're going to, whether you're going to conflict at a contract or cooperate at a contract. Green means cooperate and red means conflict. Now the way you'd use these is you'd take this token into your hand like this, and then while you're negotiating, you actually decide what you're really going to do, flip it to the side that you want to display to the other person, and then when you're ready to both reveal whether you are in fact going to cooperate or conflict, you simply drag it out. At this point, the other player cannot see what this actually says, but as soon as you left click release it onto the table, they'll be able to see what that actually does at that point. And that's really all the controls you need to play this game. I hope you enjoy your game of Guildmaster.